UFC 323 just wrapped up, and if you cannot tell by the sound of my voice, we fucking did it! Petr Yan won! He fucking got the belt from Rob! I knew it! I fucking called it! I knew it! I fucking knew he had it in him. I knew that this was Yan 2.0. I fucking knew it. Starting with the early prelims, we're going to break down this entire glorious card. Muhammad Nurmagomedov versus Mariano Santos. Look what I was trying to do. I thought the event would start at 7. Ended up starting at 6. I was in the middle of making a video, or finishing up exporting a video, off CapCut after editing it, and I missed a lot of this fight. It's one of those times where it took a little while for my stream to work as well, so I missed the entirety of Mariano Santos versus Muhammad Nurmagomedov. But honestly, I don't care. I will break that. I will rewatch it, and at some point, and I will re-break it down. I promise. Even though you guys may not care, I care about breaking down every fight. All right, but right now, I want to get my immediate reaction, just because of how fucking hyped I am. Mensur Abdulmalik, subbed Antonio Tricoli. Fucking knew it. Fucking knew that shit, man. I knew he'd sub him. I should have put all my Vertigo XP on him, but dude, that was great standing Gilly. Just like Tayshawn Gore did. Cut. And apparently it's not Tricoli, it's Tricoli. So cut Antonio Broccoli from the UFC. Great performance from Mensur Abdulmalik. And Iwo Baraneski? Razibo Aslan? Best 2-minute war I've ever seen in my entire life. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Honestly, that was the best 2-minute slugfest I've ever seen. Like a technical bar fight. It's not often where I agree with Joe Rogan's technical analysis anymore, but he said that it was a technical bar fight, and I agree with him. That was a technical bar fight. Ebo was slinging from the hips. He wasn't being so technical, but he was slinging from the hips, and Ebo was slinging back, but Ebo was slinging, and Ebo perfectly timed, just out of nowhere. He just he's able to perfectly time this fucking right hand. Maybe not out of nowhere, because even throughout those 2 minutes, you could tell Ebo was a more technical one, and he was waiting for that shot. And Ebo was slinging, and then boom, that clean 4. Jalen Turner versus Edson Barboza. This was sad. This was very sad. Edson Barboza's done. Edson Barboza needs to retire. That was depressing. Dude got knocked down 3 times and bloodied up. Depressing. Of course, Jalen Turner would beat him. Now Jalen Turner should fight. I don't fucking know. Grant Dawson. Jalen Turner can fight Grant Dawson in a few months. After Grant's recovered, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Marvin Vettori. But yeah, good performance from Turner, but Barboza's cooked. He should retire. That was sad. Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. I think this is an arguable robbery. I thought Marvin won rounds 1 and 3, but it was a very close fight. I'm not gonna lie. It was a pretty close fight, but I do think maybe not a robbery. Bad decision. I think it's a bad decision. It's not a full-on robbery, but I don't think it's a good decision. I think Marvin Vettori should have won. I guess I can see that Bruno won. But, I mean, in round 1, the distance control, the takedown attempts, and even, with the output and the cleaner strikes, there was just more check marks that Vettori had. It was kind of a slower round, not much damage done, but Vettori checked more boxes than Bruno. And there was no Bruno clearly did more damage. No, it was kind of close on that, and Vettori checked all the other boxes on how to win a round, and I think Vettori won round 1, he won round 3, and I think he should have won the fight. Vettori is kind of like a broken record with the 1-2s, and is kind of sloppy at everything else, and he is one of the dumbest fighters on in the middleweight roster right now, and in the roster in general. Marvin Vettori, I mean, dude, give him 10% more fight IQ, he would have finished for maybe. Dude, I'm just so happy about the main event. Nazim Musadi covers Petr Yan. Dude, I'm happy about my fucking picks too, because in my opinion, I went undefeated because I think on the prelims because I think Marvin won. I do. Petr Yan. That was fantastic. That was great work. That was great work from Petr Yan. Kind of boring, like round and a half. Dominated Sadikov on the ground, took him down, and just holding his fucking back, and doing the same thing in round 2. And then Sadikov tries to get up, and they separate, and then Ziam just fucking sits him down with an elbow and ground and pound TKOs his ass. Macy dude, the main event, Macy Barber, Korean Silva wasn't that bad. Macy Barber actually tries to finish her fights and tries to ground and pound, even though, she was clearly the smaller, more weaker fighter. She was still, she's a tough cookie, man. She's a tough cookie, and really like Macy, for a WMA fighter, I like Macy Barber's fight style. I like how she tries to go for it on the ground. my buddy Seth, you'll see more of him once I start doing UFC 5 videos with him. You'll see more of Seth, but he's a big Petr Yan fan as well. Chris Duncan submitted Terrence McKinney, like I thought he would. But that was another 2-minute war. Terrence going for it. Terrence, one of the greatest glass cannons that we've got in the sport, man. It was amazing. He was just throwing and slinging. But he's dumb. He was He fights like a retard on the short bus, And he fights like a fucking retard on the short bus, like Sean Strickland was talking about Drakus. But no, this is really what a retard on a short bus looks like. Retard on a short bus, give them UFC level skill. That's Terrence McKinney. Or Terrence McChinney, as I should say, because he got fucking dropped and then subbed with a really nice anaconda from Chris Duncan. Chris Duncan has some really nice jiu-jitsu, really imposes his will, and is so durable. He got rocked a lot. He got rocked quite a bit early, but dude, he was so durable, and he was toughing it out and gritting it out, and when you have a fucking a glass cannon and a durability monster, I'm choosing durability monster. Right? And that's what Duncan is. Speaking of monsters, not durability monsters, but monsters. What did I say? What did I say about Manuel Torres? He is going to be in the top 10, man. And should be getting the top 10 opponent. Give him a Benil Dari. Give him Renato Moicano. Manuel Torres, Renato Moicano. Book that. I like that. Let's book that. Come on. Top 10 opponent. That's what Manuel Torres deserves after what he did to Grant Dawson. Just KOs him in round fucking 1. Like a G. Like a calm, calculated sniper. Manuel the Sniper Torres. I don't know what his actual nickname is. El Loco? Nah. The Sniper. Amazing prelims. Main card too. Moral victory for Jan Blachowicz, to be honest. It was a great, fun fight. Blachowicz won rounds 1 and 3. Guskov, 10-8 in him in round 2, but so I think it was a clear draw. There's some people Jan got robbed again. So I don't think Jan gets robbed. I think Jan just is a guy that leaves it close, especially in his older age. He kind of leaves it a little too close. But I think in this fight, I think it was less he wasn't leaving it close. He was going for it. He's just old now. But Bogdan Guskov impressed me. He did impress me, and Blachowicz is just a tad bit more washed than I thought. It's a tad bit. But Guskov did impress me, and at the same time, Jan impressed me with his durability, because I thought, maybe if Bogdan was gonna win, he'd chin him and it'd be sad. But no, Blachowicz toughed it out, and he dropped Bogdan at the end of the fight, and it looked like oh my gosh, is he gonna finish him in the last 5 seconds? It doesn't, but man, that was great. Moral victory from Blowovich. It's great from both guys, dude. Penn Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. What a performance from Talbot, man. So slick. I know Cejudo's washed. I know he's retired. Cejudo. Okay, let's start praising Cejudo. Just get this out of the way. Great career. Amazing fighter. Top 30 all time GOAT. He's a fantastic fighter, fantastic career. All that shit. He had a really good gritty performance. If you're gonna lose in your last fight, you go out on your shield like Henry Cejudo did. Good shit. Henry Cejudo's a fucking warrior. That's what a true legend of the sport does. That's how a legend of the sport should lose. If you want to look at how real legends of the sport lose fights or have close moral victories, look at Blachowicz, look at Cejudo, look at Merab. That's how legends go out. We'll get to the Pantoja no contest. Not calling that a TKO because I wasn't. Anyways, Peyton Talbot. Amazing performance. Amazing fight. I think it might have been the most entertaining. Not the most entertaining fight in the card was a main event. That's probably going to get fight of the night. Even though they're fucking millionaires. They could give fight of the night to Peyton Cejudo, but usually you don't give fight of the night to more dominant fights. You usually give them to closer fights. But neither the Peter or the Talbot fight was close. Great 30-27 from Talbot, but dude, this guy was getting takedowns on Cejudo. And dude, jab, slip off, pressure head blast double into side control. Are you fucking kidding me? Talbot with the slick ass moves on the feet and on the ground, looking kind of like O'Malley but with his own style to it. Styling on him and taunting. And dude, this guy isn't fucking afraid of shit. I got a newfound respect from Talbot now. I don't like some of his views he has on things. I think he's a little weird, kind of a weirdo. But dude, I'm a fan. You can call me a Peyton Talbot fan now. That shit was fucking great. I think he's a dog. I know he didn't take much damage, but I think he's a dog. And I really like his fight style. That is fun. I like fun. I want more of it. Ayman Zahabi, book it. Or, even more fun, since a guy who recently just fought Cejudo kind of had a closer fight with Cejudo. If Song Yadong loses to Sean O'Malley, which we all know he probably will, you book Song Yadong versus Peyton Talbot next. Right? Even though Peyton Talbot's young, he's not super duper active. So maybe we can get him in the summer against Yadong if he loses to O'Malley. I'd love to see that. That'd be great. And now let's move on to an early stoppage. Tatsuro Taira, this was this shit, man. Okay, you see, I have round one scored to Taira. I'd say it could have been Moreno, but I do think this is weird. Okay, I'll say Moreno won. I don't remember why I scored it to Taira. Fuck, my memory's so bad I can't even remember what happened in round one. I fucking hate that, man. I just watched this not too long ago. I was watching this whole fucking card. Why can I not remember? Fuck. I'm sorry. Yeah, Brandon won round one. And, Tyra was able to, get some control. I don't remember. Not too much happened on the feet, but it did, Marino struck him a little bit. Then round two, Tyra was able to drag him down and he was able to get the back, right? And he was able to, sprawl him out and flatten him out and just beat the shit out of Moreno, right? Just beating the shit out of him. Oh, my gosh, this is, this is great. Tyra is beating the fuck out of... Wait, why the fuck did the ref stop it? One of the worst stoppers I've ever seen. Tyra was beating the fuck out of him, but we didn't get the chance to see him actually finish it. Would he have finished it? Maybe. I think so. We didn't get to see it. So we don't truly know. Very early stoppage, I feel very bad for Moreno. Moreno protested immediately because he was fine. The face wasn't even cut up at all. And that was Mark Smith. That was Mark Smith who stopped it. That's something I would expect of Herzog, not Mark Smith. Mark Smith is one of the best refs in the UFC that's usually only reserved for UFC Apex fight nights. I don't know if someone like drugged him, or I don't know if someone gave him some psychedelics or some shit, if he's on shrooms. But Mark Smith with a stoppage like that, I don't know, it just seems so out of character. I was so pissed at him. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, that ref needs to be fired. Wait, Mark Smith? So I saw his face in the replay. I was like, wait. Mark Smith? That's the guy who just did that stoppage. I'm so fucking disappointed. Moving on. I don't know if I've ever crashed out more than I've crashed out here. Fuck that shit. No contest, worst possible outcome. It should have been a no contest, and they should rebook it. If they wrap that belt around Van, it's a complete and utter bullshit. I don't give a fuck. And I believe all of this, alright? I might phrase some of this more eloquently, but I believe everything I said still. Freak accident. I don't think that a freak accident should ever result in a win. I don't. I don't think Aspinall, Blade should have, and I don't think this should have, especially when it's for the belt. Because another thing you got to realize, Joshua Van didn't cause that damage. Pantoja threw a high kick, right? And yeah, Van caught it. Van caught the high kick, but then Pantoja one throw on the high kick, kind of fell, he felt Van didn't push him. He threw the high kick and missed it, and then fell and his arm posted back, and his arm snapped in half. Maybe not fully snapped in half, but it was bad. I'm pretty sure his arm was fucking broke in half. It was bad. Joshua Van is one of my favorite fighters, by the way, on the roster, but he's not the champ. And I was I was mad when he was angry. I was angry at him. I know it's not necessarily right to be it's not Van's fault, but at the same time, if I was Van, in my opinion, I think I would be embarrassed because I wouldn't think that I won. I would be like, this is crap. It'd be such an anticlimactic outcome. I'd be like, oh fuck, this is not like this, man, not like this. And now I'm gonna be the paper champ. I didn't even do anything, but he had the smile on his face. He had the smile on his face, and he was celebrating about it, and it was just thank all my team, I got it done, I'm the champ now. No, you're not. No, you're not. And even in response to the freak accident, he's like, I don't know who was next to me, just whatever the UFC wants. What the fuck? You should immediately call out the guy who you just had no contest with, the real champ. Because my opinion, Pantoja is the real champ. Van's not the fucking champ. And I said, bullshit sport for that to be counted as a win. What the hell is this? Yeah, that shouldn't be counted as a win, especially for a belt. That's a no contest. That wasn't damage inflicted by the opponent. It was a freak accident a minute into the fight. It should have been an immediate no contest, rebook the rematch as soon as Pantoja's able to go. But Dana, you can say what you want about Dana, but Dana was being chill about it. I feel like if Dana had his way and he had more control, because I feel like sometimes Dana doesn't always have as much control as he does, and we blame him. Even myself, I blame him a little bit too much for the UFC's problems, because he's owned by Disney and shit, and TKO and all that nonsense. I feel like he doesn't have control over things like this, and if he did, he probably would have liked it to be a no contest as well, because he didn't see it as a win. He immediately wanted Pantoja. He's like, dude, you get better, and we'll rebook it as soon as you're ready. All right, buddy, it's on you. And, I think it was complete another nonsense that, you give someone a belt for that. I think it's the most bullshit outcome that a fight has ever had in the UFC. With the fucking accident that happened, and on top of that, they gave a belt to someone because a fluke accident happened. That's not a win. No one won that fight. An accident happened, and that's it. That's it. No one won that fight. It's a no contest. In my opinion, Pantoja's still champ. And I think he'll choke Van that fight in the rematch. I will be rooting for Van in the rematch because he's my boy. And I like Van. But Pantoja will win. Petr Yan might be the bantamweight GOAT because he just beat the bantamweight GOAT. And in their first fight, what did I say? Arm injury, and he wasn't himself in the first fight, and you can watch my videos, he wasn't himself. I know that YouTube, will try and copyright the shit out of me, so I had to blank out the actual fights but listen to my voice and listen to what I'm saying about the fights. All right, and you can see little bits of the fight in the corner of the screen. Anyways, who cares about that, right? Petr Yan 2.0. I was going to make a video. I didn't have time because UFC event started earlier than I thought it would about, Peter's last 2 fights and how he's improved. No, I don't. But what I will do is make, a GOAT called, the new bantamweight GOAT question mark, and will be analysis of Merab versus Petr. And, man, that was an absolutely amazing performance from Petr Yan. Domination. Damn near domination. 50-45, arguably 49-46. He stuffed 17 or 18 of Merab's takedowns. Merab went 2 for 18 or something like that. And what did Petr go? 4 for 5? 4 for 6? He landed more takedowns than Merab. Because Merab landed no more than 3. He went 2 or 3 for 8 for 20 or something like that. And Petr, I believe, went 4 for 6. Or 3 for 5. No, 4 for 6 because of the last one and at the end of round 5. But yeah, man, Petr did everything he needed to do and looked like the most technical fighter that the sport's ever seen. The most defensively sound fighter as well, dude. His defense was absolutely amazing, and the way he was just precisely busting up Merab throughout the fight, the way he was weathering the storm and building as the fight went on, I fucking knew there would be no cardio troubles. I knew it. He builds as the fight goes on. The only one that looked like they might have been breaking down was Merab because he was getting damaged. But we have to admit, Merab is a legend. Merab is a fucking dog for that shit. For staying in there the whole time and trying to impose his game plan, even though it's not working. He keeps going back to it. He kept that dedicated. He stuck in the fight. Not for a second was there. Merab might be finding a way out of this. No. Was there moments where Petr hurt him to the body? Yeah, but Merab would circle out and he go back and he try and jump back into the fight. What fucking heart from Merab. This is the most impressive, and this is the most legacy-defining bantamweight win of all time. I need to do a most legacy-defining wins of all time video. And is Petr Yan the bantamweight GOAT? I don't know. You tell me. The DQ against Aljo, he beat him up for 4 rounds. I count that as a win. And then the momentum of the beatdown. Look, and his, he accidentally illegal need. Oh, that wasn't an accident. Yes, it was. Because from his perspective, go back and watch it. Aljo looked like he was standing up, and Peter's a big knee to the face guy. And you see, and with the rule, no, you can't knee to a crowned opponent when an opponent stands up like that. And you see an opponent go to do something, and you know that you're allowed to do this one thing. As soon as they do that other thing, you're gonna go for it. It's instinctual as a fighter sometimes. And he had the momentum beating the shit out of him, and he saw that leg almost come up, and he was like, boom. And then he was immediately like, fuck. But he beat the fuck out of him for 4 rounds. I count it as, he beat on Aljo for 4 rounds. So that for 4.5 rounds, you can count that as, a normal one, but, that counts to the legacy. And the second fight with Aljo, that could have gone either way, honestly. Not necessarily saying it was a robbery. I don't think it was the right decision. I think Petr won, but it could have gone either way. The Sean O'Malley fight was a straight-up robbery, and the Merab fight, the first Merab fight, he was one-armed. Petr Yan was such a fucking unlucky fighter for those 3 fights, And then he came back. Now he's on his 4-fight win streak, and now he's got his belt back. And now he's proved why he is the best bantamweight ever. And he will prove that he is the greatest bantamweight ever. He defends the belt against Umar. I will call him the greatest bantamweight of all time, especially if he finishes him, which I think he does. I think with how chinny and how not so good Umar's defense is, he is getting chinned by Petr. Let's fucking go. KOs and fucking badass battles will be happening again at bantamweight. All respect to fucking Merab. All respect to him. And yes, saying fucking Merab, that is a pun on the fact that he looks like he's fucking when he's fighting. It is a pun. But, I mean, right now, Rob Bantamweight GOAT. But I don't know, and man, respect to both these legends. Respect to Petr Yan for putting on that absolute display, masterclass display of mixed martial arts. One of the best displays of the most impressive display of mixed martial arts that I have ever seen. Right? One of the best legacy-defining performances, but honestly, that's the most impressive performance in UFC history. You did that to a prime Merab, who I think is a top three fighter of all time. A prime top 3 fighter of all time. You did fucking that to them. What the actual fuck? Peter is goated. And I'm glad that finally people are going to be able to understand what I know about Petr Yan. That is the end of the video. And I promise I have a lot of videos cooking up for you. See you later.